Hello and welcome back to New Romantic Cocktails with your host, me, Sophia McGlue. If you don't know it by now, I'm making a little video series where I make a cocktail that corresponds to each one of my 10 songs off of my debut album, New Romance. I released my debut album in February of 2020, and it's called New Romance. I'm also a huge cocktail enthusiast, so I decided to mix my two passions and make a cocktail for each one of my songs. So, if you haven't seen them by now, I made one for Medicine and I made one for Sweet Orange, and today we're going to make one for Love's in the Light. So, my album is named New Romance, kind of after the New Romantic period in the 80s. I'm a huge fan of anything 80s. I love 80s movies, 80s fashion, 80s design. So I had to kind of incorporate that into my album by naming it New Romance. And it's perfect because my song Love's in the Light, the first lyric is New Romance. So it's kind of named after that lyric in that song. And a big influence on my music is new wave 80s music. I love that genre. It's one of my absolute favorites. So I try to incorporate sounds like that into my music. A fun fact about this song is that my dad actually wrote the first lyric. He wrote New Romance, I'm entranced, not me. My dad is a big help when it comes to my music. He is definitely my biggest fan and motivates me the most to make my music, which is very nice, and I'm very grateful to have such a great dad. But he, even though I might hate it sometimes, tries to help me all the time. So he is always interested in helping me with lyrics, and he helped me with that lyric, New Romance, I'm entranced. So we're going to make a cocktail that goes with that song, Love's in the Light, which is actually my oldest song, I believe. I wrote it back maybe in like 2015, 2016, 2017? I think earlier than that actually, like 2015, I wrote this song. It's like my first official song that I wrote. It's a really old song for me, but it's not that old if you're listening to it out on the internet. And the song is about a new romance. It's about being in a romantic relationship and maybe, looking at it through rose-colored glasses. And if you listen to the song, you find out that it doesn't always work out. It's not always meant to be. So this song is kind of like romance that fades. When thinking about making a cocktail for this song, it was actually really tough until I figured out it's got to incorporate that fading kind of characteristic. I thought, what fades is ice cream. Ice cream melts, it's really good at first, but once it melts, it's not good anymore. So that is how I am relating a cocktail to the song. I'm going to add ice cream to it. The basics of this cocktail is going to be a French 75 with some ice cream in it. So it's going to be a great New Year's Eve cocktail if you're ever interested in making a cocktail for New Year's Eve. I'm always making French 75s for New Year's Eve. It's usually a sparkling wine, sometimes champagne, sometimes Prosecco. Today we're going to be using Prosecco. Lemon juice, gin, and sugar. But I wanted to spice it up a little bit, so today I actually made a raspberry blackberry simple syrup. Looks like this. It's equal parts sugar, water, and I just added a bunch of raspberries and blackberries to it, half and half for you, and let it all dissolve on top of a stove, and then strain out the seeds and you have a beautiful berry syrup. It smells really good. It's kind of like a pie. I love pie. So let's get into making the Love's in the Light cocktail. We're going to start in our small tin, and we're going to make a basic French 75, but instead of using simple syrup, we're going to use our berry syrup. So I am going to use this Beef Eater gin because I only have like a little bit left and I thought I'd just get rid of it. But you can use whatever gin you would like. We're going to do 1 ounce of our preferred gin. And then we're going to do a half an ounce of lemon juice. And a half an ounce of our berry syrup. Now we get our big tin, add some ice, and we're gonna shake that. So I just grabbed my glass from the fridge and I put 1 tablespoon of ice cream just at the bottom and then stuck it in the freezer so that the ice cream actually stays on the bottom of the glass. And I'm using just like a normal coupe. Let's strain our cocktail into the coupe. Ooh, so pretty. We're gonna top it off with some Prosecco. And I'm stupid, I bought an entire bottle of Prosecco instead of just one little small one. I wasn't really thinking. Keep our finger on top of the cage while we open it. And don't point it towards anybody, point it away from everyone. We'll take this cage off and just slowly rotate the bottle. Beautiful. And let's top off our cocktail. It's kind of like a boozy ice cream float in a way. And if you're wondering, I'm using cupcake Prosecco. And let's just garnish this with some berries. Some leftover berries from making the syrup. Beautiful! And here it is. A boozy ice cream float. A new romantic cocktail. Love's in the Light. I think this drink kind of goes perfectly with Love's in the Light because it's pink and red, kind of like the colors that go with, that correspond to love. But it's got ice cream in it. It's like surprising. And then the ice cream kind of melts away like a new romance can. So let's try it. Ooh, that's lovely. I mean, I'm getting a lot of Prosecco, so let me kind of ooh. It's not as pretty as once the ice cream melts, it kind of gets kind of ugly looking because there's like weird white stuff floating on top. And then at the bottom you can see the ice cream is still settled. It's nice, it's fruity, but it's not too sweet. You can't really taste the ice cream yet, but let's get a spoon. I don't actually have a spoon, so let's use this bar spoon. That's lovely. It's so romantic. That's a good Valentine's Day drink too. I will make sure to leave the recipe in the bio. Check down below and you can find links to my music if you're interested in listening to my new romance album. And this is a great drink to sip while you listen to Love's in the Light, so make sure you go do that. And if you're interested in this cocktail and seeing what else I can make with my beautiful mind, follow me. If you want to see more like this, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Cheers and goodbye.